Hey friends, Sleepy here, and welcome to an episode of my weekly playlist series. We've made it to another Friday, which means it's time for me to share with you guys the games I've been playing during the week, let you guys know my thoughts and opinions on them. But I'd also like to hear about the games you guys are playing, as that gives me great ideas of games to check out. And I do appreciate everybody who's been sharing the games they play with me because you guys have piqued my interest in quite a few titles. I also appreciate any suggestions on games you think I should check out. Let me know, as I do like a wide variety of games and different genres and stuff. And I play stuff from Atari 2600 all the way up to Xbox One. So if you have a game you think I should check out, let me know. You guys have also suggested some really good games over the past 2 years of me doing this series, and I have a nice growing list of games to check out. Now, this week I only have one game to share with you guys, as it's the only game that I've had time to play, as I have just been doing other stuff here. I'm actually going to be going on vacation next week, and so I'm looking forward to that. Have a lot more time to play games. So this week, though, I just had a little bit of time to play the one game, and it's the game I've been continuing from the past 2 weeks, and that is Shawan Yuan Sword 7, which this game is awesome. Really like it. I only found out about it because I saw it as a suggestion on Gamefly's website, and I checked it out and it just looked really cool. And so I ordered myself a copy on eBay. This just launched back in October. It was, I think, the 6th or 7th or something, and it was brand new for $50, but I was able to get it for $40 with free shipping on eBay. And unfortunately, the seller who had him, he lowered him to 35, and he sold out all the copies that he had. So if you're looking to get it cheaper, I would just wait for a price drop or for the price to go down. Though I do have to warn you, though, this is one of those small physical print run games, so didn't have a huge print run, so physical copies will be harder to find in the future. But I feel this, these first like year or so, you should eventually be able to find a used copy of it. But this game is awesome. What's really cool about it is it's an action RPG. And another thing that's really interesting about this is it was actually created by a very small development studio from Taiwan, and they've actually been releasing this game series since 1990, so over 30 years for the series. But this is the first time it's actually come to the West, as it's only been released in Japan and Asian countries, so we never really got it here in the West. So it was really cool to finally be able to experience this game series. And I really do love this game, as it's done really well. The graphics are awesome, they're really good. Now I wouldn't say they're as good as like a game of like Ghost of Tsushima, but they're still really good, which look way better than early Xbox One titles. But it still wouldn't be something I would call like ninth gen graphics, but they still look pretty phenomenal. The music in this game is just awesome. It's all kinds of cool, like classic Chinese music and some great battling music and stuff. Just overall, the music in this game is just fantastic. I really like it. The voice actors too, they chose as great, because this game is only in Chinese. There is no English dubs, but it is subtitled in English, which is how I prefer to play games that are set in foreign countries and stuff. I like to have them with their native language, and then have English subtitles for the read, because it really draws you into the experience. And I feel when you make them speak English, it just kind of takes you out of it. So I prefer that this is only has people speaking Chinese, because this is set in ancient China back in the early days of like the Han Dynasty. So it's really cool. I'll read you guys some stuff about the back. So journey across ancient China as a cinematic adventure unfolds. Take the role of the calm and reliable swordsman Taishi Zhao as he fights to protect his family and uncover the truth of the blight that threatens all of China. With a story deeply rooted in ancient Chinese history and mythology, Shawan Yuan Sword 7 reimagines both as one fantastical and chaotic realm under the governance of the new Jin Dynasty. Slash, block, dodge, repulsed in combo-based real-time combat. Control the Elysium Scroll to slow down time, absorb monsters, or alter the environment. Explore a standalone story requiring no prior knowledge of the Shawan Yuan story series. So that's something that's really cool, is you don't have to have played the past games to be able to enjoy this adventure, and I am really enjoying it. So you play as Taishi Zhao here, and early on his family gets betrayed, and you and your sister are the only ones that are able to flee. and then the story takes place after there. And I won't go into too much detail because you guys know I don't want to ruin story, and this game is heavily story based. But you have your sister here who also helps you out, and then his friend Hong. And both of those characters are controlled by the computer, but they do help you in combat. And as the further along you get in the game, they become stronger, and their help is definitely needed as the game gets tougher as you move along. It's an action RPG, which is great, and a lot of people have compared this to like the Asian Witcher, and I would have to agree with that, as I do have a lot of vibes from Witcher in this game, but also has some elements of games like Tomb Raider or the Uncharted series, where you actually do have platformer where you can jump up into ledges and jump across on different areas to climb to get around obstacles and stuff. So it's got some elements of that. You know, it's got a great combo system. You can also block, and you also can parry enemies, which is definitely key, as some of the enemies can be really tough. You have a variety too of enemies to fight, not just humans, but you also have different monsters and demons to fight, and that's all based around the Chinese mythology, which is just really cool. The different spirits and enemies and stuff that you get to fight. This game also has pretty epic boss battles, which kind of remind me of Dark Souls, especially early on, where some of these enemies are really huge, and you have the big life bar and stuff, and you have to figure out different tactics to beat them, because you can't just go in and just hack and slash, because they will kill you, because some of them hit pretty hard. So you have to learn how to counter them, and sometimes you have to go in and get a couple hits and then jump around, which Tai Shi Zhao, he does move really fast and really nimble. He's able to move around. You're able to use the A button, and he can roll around away from enemies, which is another thing that's cool, is you can lock on to enemies in combat, so that you can strafe around them, which is cool. If you break off that, then you can move around freely. But it is really good to lock onto enemies, especially bosses, and so you can dodge and roll out of the way. You can also block, but sometimes they can break your stance. Enemies do have a little stagger meter underneath their health bar, if they have the health bar showing, and when that breaks, you can perform things like execution moves, which do like a super attack to them and can drain their health. Or if they're a regular enemy, is when you can execute and kill them. You have different stances too that you unlock as you play the story, which you can actually change your special move or different sword attacks and stuff that you have for him, which is really cool. And as you play through the story, you'll unlock more stuff in that. There is this mystical world that he goes to called Elysium, and within that, you can actually bring up a crafting system in there, where you have these buildings of Elysium, which you have to collect components and stuff for it, and use those to build buildings. But then those buildings can do stuff like upgrade your armor, you can upgrade your weapons, you can upgrade your protection stuff to use to enhance your warriors as you collect enemy souls, and use those souls to fuse together, which there's a fusion area too, where you can fuse items together, create new ones. And so it's just really interesting and really unique way of doing the crafting system, is going to this other world, which he only goes there for part of the story, but there's in the menu, you can see the little buildings, and you actually can upgrade those buildings to make stronger enhancements and stuff, but you have to collect collectibles and different materials that you need for crafting, which you'll find throughout the world. Now, the world's not truly like open world. I mean, you can go where you want, but there are little linear paths and stuff, and sometimes it won't open up until you complete up some of the main story, will then unlock more of the world for you. But along your way, you will encounter side quests and stuff, which is really cool. So, I always like being able to do the side missions. Now, I found so far probably like 13 or 14 side missions, so I'm not sure how many there are total in the game. But as you play through the main story, you will encounter characters to be able to do some side quests and stuff for them. And it's a variety of different kind of quests. And since there's just a smaller amount of them, there's not a whole lot of filler and like duplicate quests where go fetch this and bring this back to me, go kill guy A somewhere and come back and tell me. They do have a little variety to their side quests, since they have limited the number of them, where some games, like a Witcher, you could just have tons of side quests, but you'll have a lot that kind of repeat themselves. In this game, I haven't really noticed that. There's also this really cool mini game called Jolu Chess, which is basically like a take on tic-tac-toe, and there's different players throughout the world that play this game. And as you go through them, they get tougher opponents, but you have these unique little chess pieces that do different things in the mini game. And I really like that game. It's really fun. And sometimes the pieces, you can put one down and you can take one, but you have to basically make three of them connect, and then you take another player's piece. And whoever has the most pieces at the end of the game is the winner. If you both have the same amount taken away, then you have a draw. If they take more than you lose. But every time you beat one of these people, they give you one or two special pieces that they have, which you can then use against the next person, and you can take up to 6 of those with you in the game. And I really, really like that game. It's just really awesome. A little mini game, which is also a side quest for it. But they did add an update where you could just go and play the game anytime you want against the computer. So that's something that's really cool. They also added an arena mode, and then also in the free update for this, they added 2 new bosses to fight, and they added some new missions and stuff to the game, which is really cool. Which I'm not sure if I've encountered them or not. I'm about a little over 15 hours into this game, and I've heard that it's about a 20-hour game, but I do like to play these kind of games a little slower than other people do, as I like to really explore and get to every nook and cranny in these games, as it's really key. I definitely recommend checking out you through paths and then go through other areas when you're going down that path and look for hidden areas, because you will find hidden chests and stuff, and you'll also find hidden pots and statues which you can break, and those items that are breakable will be glowing, and if you break them, you'll unlock items and stuff. And you find in the combat, I like is really good as it's action combat, hack and slash, but you also can unlock combos and stuff, and all your characters have special moves that they can do, and you have something that's called the Elysium Scroll that you get, and you can actually use that to slow down time when it's charged up and it freezes all the enemies. But you also can use the scroll to capture enemy souls, whether they're demons, monsters, or humans, and when it captures those souls, you can actually use those souls to build enhancements that you can equip on your character to make them stronger, or like take less damage, or have more resistance to fire, or more resistance to bleed damage, because enemies can cause fire damage on you, they can cause bleed damage on you, which will cause you to lose your health. You do have health potions and stuff that you can find in this game. There are merchants spread out throughout the world too, which is cool, so you can buy new craftable equipment, you can buy new armor pieces and stuff. However, you cannot buy new weapons, so that was one gripe I know a lot of people had, is Taishi Zhao is stuck with just his sword, and his friend Hong has her 2 swords, and then his sister has like a hand cannon type thing. You can upgrade their weapons, but you can't actually find new ones. There's no like interchangeable weapons, so that was one thing I know people kind of were disappointed with. They kind of wish that you had like a spear and a sword and shield, but he just has his sword. So there are some little limitations, but it doesn't really detract from the story, as I am really, really enjoying this story, as I think it's really fantastic, and it just had me glued to wanting to play this game more and more and experience it more. And I'm getting pretty far into the game. Like I said, it says it's about 20 hours, but I think I'll probably get about 25 hours out of it, as like I said, I like to really explore stuff and go back. Do want to let you know, though, make sure that you do kill as many enemies as you can, as that will level you up, as I'm like level 29 right now, and the higher your level is, obviously you get stronger, and your character has higher attacks and stuff, because the enemies start getting more health and they do more damage as you start encountering new enemies. Enemies will counter you too, so you gotta watch out that. Some of them have shields so they can block. Some of them have mana and magic abilities, and there's archers and stuff, and demons that have special powers and stuff, so you have to watch out. But it's great. It's a game I think you guys should check out. It's just really interesting. It's really great to see what a small team for a developer is able to do and make such a fantastic game. It's just been getting a lot of great positive reviews, and a lot of people are finally discovering this series, like myself, who didn't even know that this has been a series going on since 1990. Highly recommend you guys check out Shaoan Yuan Sword 7. It is an awesome action RPG. It was released physically for PS4 and Xbox One, but of course you can get it digitally. I'm also on the PC, and it's just a series that I think you guys should definitely check out. Now, normally I would do a quick recap, but Since I only have the one game, we talked about Shaoan Yuan Sword 7. Definitely check it out, especially if you're a fan of action RPGs. If you got games like The Witcher, or you like games that you like, your action RPG type of games, definitely give this one a try, as it's a really great game set in ancient China, which I'm a big fan of ancient Chinese mythology and history and setting and stuff. And this game has all of that, and it's just a really interesting game. I think you guys should check out. Let me know your guys' opinions on it, guys, if you've checked out Shaoan Yu on Sword 7 yet. I'd also like to hear about games you guys have been playing. And if you guys have any suggestions on a game you think I should check out, let me know, as you guys always do suggest really fun titles. Want to thank you guys for watching. Take care. Have an amazing day. Sleepy will see you next time.